everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Mafex Robert Pattinson Batman from The Batman. I pre-ordered this guy from Ami. If you're ordering your Mafex figures from Big Bad Toy Store or any of the American websites, you're paying far too much. I'll drop a line in the comments below. Check out Ami. If you pre-order your figures there, you'll get them way cheaper and way faster than the American websites. One interesting thing about this figure is there was a recall. This guy was supposed to come out in early October, but it got pushed back to early November. The first batch of these figures, on the back of the figure, said something like, made in China, Marvel Comics Incorporated, and of course this is a DC Comics figure, so it's a very interesting fuck-up. Just a tiny bit of small print on the back, behind the cape. You might not even notice it, but I imagine it's a big deal to Warner Brothers and DC. So, they canceled the orders, or delayed them, whatever, and here it is finally today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, DC, The Batman, Mafex. Here he is in the package. We have a ton of accessories, hands, heads, bat gadgets, etc. One side of the package, The Batman, Mafex. This is the 188th figure in the Mafex line. On the other side, here's the figure posed up, Mafex 188. At the bottom, we have a bunch of credits, and there's his barcode, if that happens to help anybody. And to the back side, here's the figure posed up, a bunch of different display options, a bunch of accessories, a bunch of cool stuff. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And of course, I did get two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a ton of cool stuff. Let's start off by talking about his flight stand or display stand. Then he has 16 alternate hands, totaling 18 interchangeable hands. A total of 4 heads, 2 with the cowl on, 2 unmasked. He has 2 alternate forearm pieces, an alternate chest piece. He has the Batman cowl with no head inside. He has the large batarang from his chest, 2 large grapnel launchers, 2 smaller grapnel launchers, and a flare. But before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is the Robert Pattinson Batman from The Batman, the first of what's hopefully going to be a trilogy. This is the Mafex version. Been a long wait. We already have the versions from McFarlane and SH Figure Arts, and there's still a Mezco one on the way. So let's take a look. Starting with his head here, it looks good. It has that signature look. Something about the sort of curvature at the top of the cowl, his lips, the medium-sized ears, the sort of, I don't know, stitching or whatever this is around the top of the cowl. It screams Robert Pattinson's version of the Batman, and it looks excellent. Eyes look good. The lips, the sculpt, the paint job, very well done. He's got a cloth cape. It has a bendy wire on both sides. You can see the large sort of batarang thing in the middle of his chest. Utility belt with a ton of gadgets and gear on it. He's got the grapnel holster here, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. As a whole, I'd say it looks very good. Now, one interesting thing, I mentioned that recall earlier. Mine doesn't say made in China or DC Comics or anything on the back. Overall, it looks good. It looks fantastic, actually. It looks excellent. It looks very spot on to the source material. Well done, Mafex. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the display stand. Now for his display stand, the main part comes in 3 separate pieces, and then there's some extra parts for enhanced displays. When put together, it's going to look like this. We have the display base here. It's got 3 different pegs where you can attach a post. And then the post here, at the bottom, it can rotate. It's hinged down here, hinged in the middle, hinged at the top. The top can rotate, and then it has your clamp to hold your figure. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 18 of them, and if it seems a bit excessive, that's because it is. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Then, with his next pair of hands, this is a pair of gripping hands with a very small grip. And here's his next pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with a pretty small grip. The thumb is extended. I think it's for the smaller grapnel launcher. And his next pair of hands, very similar hands, gripping hands with the thumb extended. Looks like they're for the grapnel launcher. These ones have a slightly larger grip, and I can't imagine why he has two different sets of these hands, almost exactly the same. And his next pair of hands, this is another pair of gripping hands. I believe this is for his larger grapnel launcher. And then his next pair of hands, this is a pair of gripping hands with a trigger finger. This one is definitely for the larger grapnel launcher. And here's his next pair of hands. This looks like a pair of grabbing or maybe choking hands. And here's his next pair of hands. This is a pair of open and extended hands. And here's his final pair of hands. This is about the closest to some relaxed hands. It would look good at his sides. Now let's check out his heads. He has a total of 4 of them. 2 with the cowl on and 2 unmasked. And notice he has 2 separate neck pieces. 1 with the suit on, 1 with the suit off for the unmasked heads. You gotta share the neck pieces between the different masked and unmasked heads. Here's a look at his first head, the most normal head. The back cowl on with a standard expression. Then with the second head, this one has the cowl on and an angry expression. Here's his third head. This has the unmasked head. Looks fantastic like Robert Pattinson, Bruce Wayne. This one has no makeup on. And here's his last head. This is another unmasked head. This one he just took the cowl off. He has the makeup on around his eyes. Now for his forearm pieces. And when I first opened the figure, I was like, why the hell does he have alternate forearm pieces? But then I looked at him and I understood. The regular piece here has no grapnel launcher attached. And the alternate pieces here have his grapnel launcher attached onto the back. A very subtle difference. Nice attention to detail, but when you have his grapnel launcher, it would look weird if he still has it around his forearm. Here he is with his first pair of forearms. This one does not have the grapnel launcher attached. And then his alternate forearm. This one has the grapnel launcher attached. Now let's look at his chest pieces. He has 2 of them. 1 with a large bat symbol inside, and 1 with it removed. Here's Batman with his first chest plate. And here he is with his second one. This one has the large batarang removed. And then here's that batarang, if that's even what you want to call it. He sort of used it as a knife in the film. Sculpt is good. It's done in sort of the Batman logo. Nice bit of weathering. Good paint job on this thing. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to throw that batarang. Now for this unmasked cowl. This is a very cool accessory to get. The cowl here, it's totally hollow. It's going to be perfect for when he's changing in and out of the Batman suit. Here's a look at the unmasked Robert Pattinson Batman holding that cowl like he just took it off. Now let's look at his flare. Kind of looks like a big cigarette. Not too much going on here. Here's Batman holding that flare. Now let's look at his grapnel launcher and holster. You have 3 different options here. You have the holster for the side of his leg. You have the holster on the side of his leg with the grapnel launcher, and the grapnel launcher separate. The grapnel launcher itself, it looks good. It has the actual hook stuck, and I really wish that was peggable so you could remove that, but unfortunately it's not. Here's Batman holding that grapnel launcher. Here he is, holstering that grapple, and he also has the holster with no grapple in it. Now for a smaller grapnel launcher. These things are attached to his forearm, and they're going to slide up into his hand. They're a lot smaller than the other one. He comes with 2 of them, because I guess he has them on both arms. Sculpt itself, very basic. This thing is small. Here's the Batman with his arm extended. Then the grapnel slides up into his hand, and he makes his escape. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, and now for his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right at about 6.4 inches tall, which could translate to just over 16 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 6.6 inches tall. Now for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down. Can't look up too much. It seems like the sort of back hard plastic part here is going to obstruct some of that. But he can look down quite a bit. He can tilt his head from one side to the other. He has articulation at the top of the neck and at the bottom of the neck. 2 separate pieces. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out about 90 degrees. He's got these drop down shoulders. They can kind of come down all the way like that. And you can push them back in. Up, down, around. The shoulder pads totally move out of the way. He's got bicep cut below that. double jointed elbows. They go in about that far. His wrists can rotate and it's going to be hinged. In his torso, he's got a ball joint. Rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist. Rotate around just a little bit, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion. Not exactly as smooth as I would think. This sort of seems to get like stuck on itself in the torso. Legs go out about that far by ball joints, but they have this really weird sort of thing in the thigh area there. And then go forward all the way. Back, not much. They can rotate independently of that thing. Double jointed knees. And then his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt rock just a little bit. And of course, toe articulation. Here's a look at Bruce Wayne in the Batcave. Just got home and took his cowl off. Here's this Batman fighting a bunch of street thugs like at the beginning of the film. And here he is on a rooftop overlooking Gotham, answering the bat signal, then taking down some of Riddler's henchmen. Here's this Batman riding on McFarlane's drifter motorcycle. And here, riding on McFarlane's The Batman Batcycle. This Batcycle does seem a little too big for the Mafex Batman. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other The Batman figures. Here's the Mafex The Batman, next to the SH Figure Arts version. I'd say the Mafex one is a better figure, a little bit taller, and then it doesn't have that hard plastic at the top of the cape with cloth going down. They're both really nice figures, but I'm going to give it to Mafex on this one. And here he is, next to the McFarlane DC Multiverse version. SH Figure Arts is about 6 inches tall, McFarlane about 7 inches, Mafex kind of between, a little bit less than 6.5. They made both a masked and an unmasked version. So here would be all 3 versions of the Robert Pattinson Batman, McFarlane, Mafex, and SH Figure Arts. There's a Mezca one coming, but it looks like it's not going to be out until February at best. Here's this Batman, next to McFarlane's entire wave of the Batman figures. We have a total of 9 figures, but only 4 characters. I would love to see some of the other companies touch on some of the other characters. Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, even Joker in a prison outfit, but it seems like it's never going to happen. Here he is, next to a custom 7-inch scale Bruce Wayne civilian attire that I made. This is for my Drifter Bruce Wayne head, and then a Diamond Select, the Man in Black body. He still has some makeup on. I always wanted to repaint it, but never got around to it. This works, but it could be better. Then, next to a third-party, unauthorized, unlicensed AC Play Robert Pattinson Bruce Wayne. This figure's okay. I was pretty disappointed, honestly. And then, here he is, next to another third-party unlicensed figure. This is the Anton Custom Robert Pattinson Bruce Wayne. And this one is absolutely phenomenal. Here he is, next to a NECA Edward from Twilight, also played by Robert Pattinson. And now, next to a Diamond Select Toys, Westworld, Bernard Lowe. Bernard Lowe was played by Jeffrey Wright, who played Commissioner Gordon, or rather Lieutenant Gordon in The Batman. So, makes for a good fill-in, but he's 7-inch scale, so works better with the McFarlane figures. Now let's check him out, next to some other Mafex figures. Here he is, next to all the different live-action Batman figures that Mafex has made. Christian Bale, Robert Pattinson, and Ben Affleck. I would love to see Mafex tackle Michael Keaton, or any of the other versions, but for now, this is their movie collection. And here he is, next to a couple of Mafex comic Batman figures from The Dark Knight Returns and Hush. Then, next to a Mafex, the new Batman Adventures Batman. And now, next to a couple of Mafex Bruce Wayne figures. I would love Mafex to make a Robert Pattinson Bruce Wayne, but I doubt it'll ever happen. But they gave me the extra parts to make my own. Here he is, next to some Mafex Hush figures. Then, next to some Mafex Suicide Squad figures. And now, next to several Mafex figures from different various lines. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know designs you can mix him with. Since he's a Mafex figure, they're typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts figures. Here he is, next to a homemade cupcake. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends, and some other Mafex figures. And now, with some Mattel and some Mezco Batman figures. Here he is, with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures. Then, next to some NECA and some DC Direct Batman figures. And now, with some Diamond Select toys and some Jakks Pacific figures. And finally, here he is, next to some McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures. So overall, this is a fantastic Batman figure. This is probably the best of the 3 releases of this Batman. He looks fantastic. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. I can totally see Robert Pattinson in the chin right here, in the lips, the eyes, and the unmasked head is even better. These accessories are phenomenal. You have so many things. The only thing I seem to be missing is that adrenaline shot from the end of the film, and that's such a minor accessory. I'm fine without it. Articulation is pretty good, although I find the sort of hip area is pretty weird on this guy. If I had to rate this figure, I think he's worthy of a solid 8. Very nice release, very nice figure, very good job, Mafex. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.